Hey, what's going on, folks? Forest Green here. Today, I'm here to debunk a video from Death Battle. I got a request from one of my viewers slash subscribers, and it is on Cammy versus Sonya Blade. Today, also, I have my good buddy over here, Korin O'Keefe. He will also be going over some of the things as well. So he'll be covering mainly Sonya, and I'll be covering Cammy. So I'm going to go ahead and leave Korin O'Keefe to explain his part, and then once he's done, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and explain my part for Cammy. So I'll leave it to you, Korin.
All right, thank you, Forrest. So starting off, I'm going to be talking about the attack power and some misconceptions as well regarding Sonya and some feats. For starters, they do kind of lowball her, and they try to use like the test your might game to like justify these characters having like incredible striking strength. However, that's actually a low ball when you really break it down. That's anywhere from like wall level to small building level, which is kind of like downplay. So another funny thing that gets me is there's like some out there who get really upset that they use this test your might quote unquote non-canon thing. However, if we're going with this like non-canon quote unquote thing, that's downplay. And there's a feat in the comics that are actually much more canon with the games, and there's actually an explosion in the comics that Sonya easily scales to. I'll leave a link in the description below on the calc, but the gist of it is this calculation has been calculated to be around 100 tons of TNT at the low end, which is around the multi-city block level ranges. And Sonya obviously scales to this, and there's other characters who have performed similar feats around the city block to multi-city block level ranges, such as characters like Rain, Smoke, and calculations for those will be in the links in the description. So yeah, when you really consider her like chopping through this in the test your might game, and people complain about it, it's kind of like, well, yeah, but it's downplay though. It's still downplay, and the comics are like more canon with the actual games, and there's actual like city block and multi-city block level feats throughout the games and the comics that characters like Sonya would easily scale to, as mentioned. Now, with AP out of the way, and it's very clear Sonya is above these like wall and small building level ranges, and it's very clear the people who are complaining about this like quote unquote non-canon test your might thing are kind of being fallacious, because it's downplaying the characters logically and technically. So let's talk about speed. Now with speed, they're kind of vague. I mean, they're really vague, and they claim like Cammy's a little faster, but they don't really give much reason. Now I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with that. I would actually say they're comparable, and here's why. On my end, we know for a fact Sonya herself has actually dodged bullets as well as plasma blast. Okay, now she would even scale to Reptile, who has also dodged bullets on several occasions. So right off the bat, consistent wise, you know, around the supersonic ranges, possibly low hypersonic. And now there's even other stuff like higher end stuff. You could possibly scale her to characters who have been able to like keep up with restricted raiden, you know, somewhat react to his lightning, etc., etc. We know Raiden, while restricted, is legitimately confirmed to move, react, travel, fight at the speed of lightning. So you could actually get her to higher levels of speed than just these supersonic to possibly low hypersonic ranges. She could possibly be massively hypersonic, even massively hypersonic plus ranges, if you really want to go there. The point is, they were very vague. They didn't really justify her speed. They kind of lowballed Sonya's speed. She's casually dodging bullets, scaling to characters who can do that, and there's even arguments on the table for her being a lightning timer. Now, with that out of the way, I will say credit to them on the experience part and on her skill and with her weaponry and gear. I'll give him credit on that for sure. And this is an older episode, but the fact remains there are some misconceptions that needed to be cleared up and some consistent showings that needed to be provided so that you all could see. And again, this was requested, and we like to help out the people. All right, bring out the good information. Now, with the facts on Sonya out of the way, I'm going to hand the mic over to Forrest, let him go over Cammy and explain what's really going on with her.
Alright folks, so Death Battle pretty much goes over the attack potency for Cammy, comparing her to a low-end feat that Balrog performed, because Balrog was able to one-shot an one of Dhalsim's elephants and kill the elephant. That feat is absolute fodder. There's a lot more impressive feats that Death Battle don't mention. There is a small town level feat, small town level plus feat from Chun-Li herself, which she performs during the fight with Bison. Bison was outnumbered by Ken, Ryu, Chun-Li herself, and Cammy, and Bison was able to go toe-to-toe with all of them, and they were all fighting against him, and Chun-Li was able to get Bison off guard and perform this large giant Kikosho, which created a large crater in the forest. And there is a calculation which Korin will link in the description, and it came up to around small town level plus. Everyone in the forest should scale to that, but of course, with the exception of Ryu, Ken, and Bison, they scale higher. But this is just one of the examples to help get Cammy to small town level plus, because she was also able to survive that blast. There is another way we can get Cammy even above Chun-Li, because during the fight in the movie Street Fighter 4, when Juri goes up against Chun-Li, Juri completely embarrasses and bodies the fuck out of a enraged Chun-Li, and actually puts Chun-Li into a hospital. Now, once Guile and Cammy get news about this, they are both enraged and go to find Juri. Cammy finally meets up with Juri, and they both are able to swap hands with each other. Cammy was able to keep it competitive, but unfortunately, because Juri is obviously a evil person, she's very ratchet. She fights hood rat style. She threw Cammy's sisters off the airplane, causing Cammy to forfeit the fight and jump off the plane. So this feat should easily get Cammy to around small town level plus, slightly above Chun-Li, you can argue. Majority of the mid-tier characters in Street Fighter should scale to this. But yes, that's a story for another time. And that pretty much clarifies the attack potency for Cammy. So for the speed, pretty relative. There is a bullet timer feat with Ryu, of course, which a lot of the Street Fighter characters should scale to. Chun-Li herself has dodged bullets and outpaced them. Ryu point blank dodged literal bullet fire and completely smacked a goon in his face. And Cammy should easily scale to this, because Cammy has gone toe-to-toe with characters who can go toe-to-toe with Chun-Li. So the speed aspect, they did get right, but they were very vague about it, and they didn't really explain it too well, I'm afraid. So the speed, I won't be too harsh on them for the speed. As for the other aspects, they get the experience right, they get the intelligence, and pretty much all that summed up and out of the way. And Korin O'Keefe explains it as he explained prior. And the durability should pretty much be the same as the attack potency. But yes, folks, that's pretty much it for the information on Cammy's end, and I'm going to leave it to Korin O'Keefe now.
Yes, and I would like to actually add on to Cammy, as to be fair, because I mentioned a higher end speed scaling for Sonya. Now there is a feat of Bison dodging a laser that was fired from a satellite in the sky. Impressive, considering this has actually been calc'd to be around the massively hypersonic, up to the massively hypersonic plus ranges in its own right. Possibly a little lower, give or take, than what Sonya could scale to. Nonetheless, you can easily get both of these characters in the bullet time and ranges very consistently and casually, and there's even stuff on the table that gets in even higher, thousands of times faster even, for both characters on both ends. So yes, overall, at the end of the day, we really don't care about the result. It's just, there's a lot of misconceptions in this episode. It's very vague, and we just wanted to clear that up for you all. And other than that, I'll let Forrest end things off.
So thank you folks for watching. If you folks enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like, comment down below, let me hear your feedback, and of course, subscribe to both me and Korin's channel. I'd like to say thank you, Korin, for assisting me with this debunk and clearing out any odds and pretty much making things even and just fixing just eliminating the downplay and making sure the information is correct and consistent. But yes folks, Forest Green signing out. Peace.